Path of spirituality is not for everyone, and yet it can be for everyone. With efforts and perseverance, man can advance on this path. The goal of the path is to experience Samadhi state. Samadhi state is a state of thoughtlessness where you find your inner spot, or rather vast field of infinite consciousness which exists without the thoughts. So the key thing is to find this inner experience. Does not mean your journey is over. This is where the journey is actually starting. So, the sooner you experience the Samadhi state is better, because there is a lot of journey beyond it also. Once you experience the Samadhi state, it's a benchmark against which you can analyze your own behavior. Because Samadhi state is pristine, it's divine, it's pure. It's just like a muddy water being boiled and comes out the distilled water without any impurities. So Samadhi state is the end result of distillation of your mind, which is full of mad, moh, krodh, maya, meaning ego, attachment, anger, and the illusion that the world is real. These four enemies are hidden within. These are the impurities. But going through these impurities with proper efforts, Samadhi state can be experienced in its pristine, divine glory. Now this becomes a benchmark against which you can analyze your own behavior. It is very tempting to use this benchmark to judge others, how they are doing, how they should be doing. But that's the trick of the mind, because mind wants to do something. Mind always makes you look towards the society, the world, the samsara, but never on itself. It does not want to see its own mistakes, so it plays a trick on you, and it tries to give you a false sense of ego that you have reached Samadhi state but others have not, so you can go and preach them, try to change them. It's a very subtle way of the mind, the ego, to survive, because it makes you motivated to fix everybody around you. But these are the tricks of the mind. In a very subtle way, to remain in a steady Samadhi state at that time becomes difficult, except if you have understood and experienced the Samadhi state very well, becomes easy. The samadhi state is a state of witnessing, and that is its weapon to stay apart from the mind. Before you would have reached to the samadhi state, we get attached to the mind and the body. Pleasures of the mind becomes our pleasures. Sufferings of the mind becomes our sufferings. When mind is happy, we say we are happy. When mind is not happy, we say we are not happy. Somehow we have created this weird and surprisingly strong bond between our soul and the mind and the body, of course. So pleasures of the mind becomes your own pleasures of the soul, because soul, we don't know where it is. So we attach to whatever is nearby. So that's how we have been living all along until you experience the divinity within you. You experience the soul itself. Then the witnessing happens. Just because you experience samadhi state does not mean you will not make any mistakes. Mistakes will happen, but carefully you have to sort them out. You have to realize and focus exclusively on your own mistakes rather than fixing others' mistakes. Mind has been created by us over many lives with our karmas, good, bad. So mind is in a state of running. It is in a habit of running all the time. So just because you experience samadhi does not mean the mind is going to stop running. It's like a bicycle which has been running for a long time. You take your feet off the pedals, the bicycle will still continue for a while until it loses its momentum and then dies out. So throughout the day, you will make mistakes despite your own experiences and decisions not to get into trouble with the world. You will still do it. But at that time, the witnessing function should come alive and realize that it is the mind's doing rather than your doing. If mind ends up choosing the wrong food to eat, the enjoyment will come, but the witnessing of the soul will witness that it was mind's desire and mind's fulfillment and mind's enjoyment. If you end up in arguments which you had decided not to get involved, arguments still will break out. But at that time, you remain a witness. Retrospectively, you analyze the mistakes of the mind, use your awareness, analyze the actions of the mind, and keep everything at the mind level without letting it come any further into the soul. So realize the existence of soul all the time. In this state of witnessing, the distance will distance will be maintained between the soul and the mind. And without the cooperation of the soul, mind will almost stand in front of you as a guilty, and then little by little these tendencies will start slowing down. These mistakes will stop recurring. So it is very important on the path of spirituality to keep the flame of the soul alive all the time. And mistakes will happen, but you have to be able to stand as a witness of these mistakes. And when you stand, the strength of the mind starts going down. So realize this, experience the samadhi state, because the fun begins after you reach the samadhi state. Have a good day.